How's it going, guys? We're live with another Q&A. Only just a few minutes late today. Mod Ronan spilled Dr. Pepper on the servers. Anyways, introductions. Got Mod Mac.
Yep.
Mod Rock.
Hi.
Ian.
Hi.
Mod Kieran.
Hello.
Mod Ash.
Hello.
Myself, Mod Archie. And we've got Mod West and Mod Ghost over there on the PCs to show you guys some awesome treasure trail rewards towards the end of the stream, as well as Mod Kieran showing off the requirements for the Master Clue Scrolls. Very exciting stuff. Let's do this. First question. Chunky says, can we see a buff to Runite Golems? For their requirements, they're not worth camping compared to Rune Rocks.
I'm trying to work out what a buffed Rune Golem would do. Would it give more Rune or
I guess so, that's what he wants
Easier
from it, I guess.
Easier to kill or better rewards?
They could stand to be easier to kill.
That would speed it up, wouldn't it? So.
Okay. It's agreed.
The thing with that is they've got to make sure that if they're easy to kill, they still need to take something to kill them with, therefore
Yes.
they are still a risk.
So maybe if they had the same defense stats and same kind of aggressive stuff, but lower hit points, they'd be quicker to kill, but you'd still have to have decent accuracy to be able to do it.
Okay, easy peasy.
Still no confirmation we're live. Let's just say an emote and see if it happens. Frank or Z?
Well, if we invite them to say 111111111, they're usually quite good about doing it.
Moving on. Next question. Jakesy says, in the catacombs, can you... Yeah, there it is. All right. Can you restrict the roaming distance of the dags when killing specters? They keep attacking you. Stop them from coming up the stairs, please.
Didn't someone try that last week?
I believe we did.
Do you know how we tried it?
I think we moved one of the. I think we might have reduced the wander range and moved a spawn or so. I can't remember.
There is still one that goes up there.
We'll have a look at it.
Depending on what we're doing with multiple vertical levels in that area, we might be able to get away with putting that kind of remove roof property down on a couple of tiles, because it flags them as being indoors. And if you then set all the NPCs to have move restrict outdoors, they won't go indoors into those two little tiles where you've painted the thing. Of course, it would also mean that roofs get removed when you step into it yourself, but there probably aren't any in.
There ain't any roofs to remove, so.
So we might be able to have an invisible wall that only the NPCs think is there, but they'd still be able to shoot through it if necessary.
Clever.
We never know your luck.
Shooting up the stairs won't really make much of a difference because they climb up and then get you while you're in the room.
Indeed, so if we could stop them from getting up the stairs themselves, then the fact they can shoot you up it probably isn't a big deal. Shoot you up. No, that means something else.
Is Dagannoth double G or double N or both?
Double N, isn't it?
It's single G, double N in player-facing text. It's double G, single N in most internal code, because
Okay,
Internal changed his mind late on, except in some of the more recent content where we spelt it correctly in the code. And there's a few inconsistencies in the From Nikile's quests.
Oh, I'm going to love that then.
Another one.
I was looking at something with Dagannoths today and I thought, I'm pretty sure it's 1G double N, but...
Yeah, we've got a similar deal going with Fremnik, where in player-facing text it's 1M, 2Ns. In the internal code it's 2Ms, 1N, except in more recent stuff where we spelt it right. And then there's Marantil, where I can't actually remember how it's spelled, but I know it's different in the code.
With the 2 floors above us, I'm being dripped on.
Is RS3 melting?
Yeah, directly above us.
Oh dear.
Should we go to the next question?
Sadly, it's not just the made-up words which are misspelled in our content.
Why do so many things get changed last minute?
You know, the model, the 3D model for mining rocks, the one that you guys voted for us to remove in favour of the old-style rocks, that newer model was spelt with a W. It was spelt W-R-O-C-K for that kind of rock. I don't know whether the artist seriously thought that's how you spelt rock, but that's what we got.
Interesting. Moving on. No Emoji says, could the Kraken Tentacle also degrade once its charges have been used up? Currently, it's only 150k, and there are so many in-game. This would be a nice item sync to make the Kraken more profitable.
It would seem logical to do something like that, seeing as when you use the one tentacle with another, then the actual... yeah, it removes one of them from the game, so...
Which has, I think, done fairly well at looking after the whip price compared to what it would have done otherwise. The other thing we've tried before is looking at other things you can do with a tentacle, such as chopping it up to make sinew and using it as a bowstring. And while
It's a circle idea, yeah.
it was a circle idea. Panic buy or sell circles, I forget which, but panic, yeah. Anyway, so while you're doing that, people have been talking again about a redwood bow. And maybe if we were to go in that direction for whatever reason, it could be time to look at the other kind of bowstring made from kraken sinew.
I know what I'm buying after the stream. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually would like to straw poll. Or actually, well, so we like your idea more than the one where it just degrades then. Is that confirmed?
Well, if I thought we could make it just degrade, then that would be absolutely fine. We'd do it. However, I have a little trouble seeing that one through a poll. We could let the straw poll find out, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's straw poll that. So, the Kraken Tentacle, currently quite cheap. Would you guys like to see it degrade to the point where it disappears? Would make the boss a bit more profitable as the item would rise. Sure, we'll get that straw poll in the chat for you guys. Let's move on to the next question then. So, OSRS Matt says, Skilling Pets Batch 2? Question
I
mark.
think John was looking at them, wasn't he? I don't know what ideas he came up with.
They are on the list as something we want to do. It's just a matter of fitting them into the schedule. We have the Phoenix pet for fire making that we would like to do. We have the construction pet, which is the chair from Drino Manor that like walks back on you. And whichever skills we choose to do otherwise.
What's the agility pet going to be?
I think it should be the bird from Brimhaven on the guy's shoulder.
Mod West wanted to do a raccoon for thieving.
Yeah.
Monkeys had some support.
Yeah.
Maz would probably want a squirrel for farming.
That's what we want a squirrel for anything.
Okay, we've got the results back for the straw poll there. Would you like to see the Kraken Tentacle degrade? Yes is sitting at about 75.9. I can't read that. 5. I was right. 75%. So it just passes. It'll be in game next week. Ash isn't impressed. Next question.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Anyway, with skill
That's
pets,
worse.
with skill pets, it's just something we really want to do it. But I mean, graphics is really busy with treasure trails right now. Then they're moving on to raids, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's just finding a chance to do it.
Okay. Next question is from Dwisser. Says, can the dialogue for adding smoldering stones to tools be removed or made into just one chat box?
I went and had a look at that. On the menu box we've got, we don't have a huge amount of space for a long message in the top title area. And the message is really quite long, and I can't really see a way of shortening it enough without, losing half the wording. So it's not quite so obvious how we do that unless we say, here is a message, click to continue, well, press spacebar to continue, because that's how you normally deal with it these days, and click on the ground to walk away if you don't want to. Seems a bit unwieldy to me.
Is it that much of an issue? How often are you using smoldering stones on tools? It's only once every now and then.
That answers that. Next question. Com says, in regards to master clues, can skill clues from elites, challenge scrolls from hards, or other modified clues be used to obtain master clues?
The only thing we've really looked at with clues is getting one at the end of it. Like not using clue parts to go into.
Oh, so currently obtaining something's going on for sound, I believe.
And how was this sound at all? Because it was shut up.
So I believe what they're referring to is the fact that you go to Watson and you can obtain a Master Clue Scroll, and this is done by giving him one of each tier, Easy, Med, Hard, and Elite. I think they're asking so that they can actually give the challenge scroll rather than the actual Clue Scroll object.
It wouldn't seem logical.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Are they okay? So, are they saying if they started to complete a hard clue or a elite clue, it got to a stage that they couldn't then continue past?
Ah, okay, that makes
So
sense.
it doesn't matter what stage they're on. Can they use it for into Watson?
So they get stuck on a challenge scroll and they want to give that in. It doesn't currently, but it could.
Yeah, I don't see why it would need to be just on the first step.
Okay. Next question. Basic says, why is there only one shop that sells cosmic runes? It's the only type of rune that is sold by one shop. Since there is a second shop, but it only sells 20 at a time, and it's always... Yeah.
I'm not aware there's ever really been a quota. I think people over the years, long before our time, making shops just put stuff in them and weren't really counting exactly how many other shops sell the thing, which isn't ideal, really.
They didn't intentionally put in 20 into the mage bank.
Maybe it was considered, when the shops first went in, it was considered something they wanted to keep rare at that time, because it was a higher level one at the very beginning. I mean, it's not, obviously not so much now, but when it was first made, that may have been why.
That would make a lot of sense.
But I think it is a legacy thing. I don't think it's worth changing it, because I think it's sort of part of what people expect from the game.
And you never know if you're actually rune crafting the things. If you can get a market for them, it's not the end of the world.
Indeed,
unless,
yeah.
of course, you're iron.
Yes.
I think that's probably the main reason for that question.
Likely.
Okay. Capper says, why were you guys at DreamHack?
Buying cheese.
Who said that?
Capper.
Did he? Yeah, okay. So buying cheese and massive. You wouldn't believe they've got massive crackers about this big, big round crackers they've got in Sweden. Anyway, the reason we were there. The reason we were there was one of the things we try and do is we try and see how we can find more players and how we can get more players. And one of the ways we've had a lot of success for this recently is through the esports stuff we've been doing and the competitive gaming. So we wanted to have a look, see whether DreamHack was the right place for us to go and potentially do something there, which would be quite cool if we can. So me and Chris went and had a look last week and hung out there, and it's quite an amazing place, isn't it?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I think I'm actually going to switch mics. This one might be causing you guys trouble.
I'll keep talking. Yeah, so DreamHack's a massive, one of the biggest LAN parties in the world. It has, I don't know, 10, 15,000 people turn up to play, and they have competitions going in the background and all sorts of stuff going on. It's really quite cool. And we went and visited it, and we think we would like to take Old School there at some point. There's lots to be worked out. We might not be able to do it, but you know, it's something we want to do, and hopefully we can get a competition there at some point, which will be quite cool. Yeah, so that's why we were there, and we will continue visiting places and looking at where we can take Old School out to the players, because there's a lot of people who don't know about us, who should know about us, and who want to know about us. So we're going to keep doing that over and over again. Okay?
Yeah. And for what it's worth, Sweden is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Next question's from Oz Drop Bear, who says, can we insure Chinchompas with Pro Beta so that if you disconnect while training in places like under the tunnels of Apatol, having a percentage fee like 5% to insure them and another to retrieve them if you die would also make for a nice gold sink?
I'm not sure I like that personally. I mean, how far do you go? Do you do it with every other item you could possibly lose on death for a disconnect?
I think their connection to Probita is that these are little creatures, and she's meant to be all about insuring little creatures. The thing is, while she insures pets just fine, insuring cute little creatures that you're trying to explode isn't quite as cuddly as the usual sort of thing she deals with.
Yeah, they don't like that idea. Okay. At least we don't show their name on screen. Next question. LOL Empire says, can we get more bank space pulled?
We've been having a look at that. I checked the logs from the Worlds earlier and found there's quite a few errors showing up suggesting that the code on the client that's drawing all the bank slots is kind of hitting the overload already, especially if people are using the search feature. And while you may not use the search feature very much, it really is supposed to work if possible. So if we do more things that make the bank even more work for the client to render, even though our servers at our end aren't going to have too much trouble from it by all accounts, it is going to affect, I think, your computer's ability to draw it. I'm not sure whether there's anything you'd be able to do to help us optimize it, though, because that search feature was written with very little engine support back in 2014, 13.
Is that just hitting the client script of
the opcode? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could potentially increase that. I don't know what it's currently at.
Nor do I. All I know is that there's a lot of errors coming up, and I think they mean that we're hitting it.
Yeah, fair enough.
They might mean something else entirely, of course. They're not in English.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, some kind of engine command for sorting an inventory by... Or,
would be incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So yeah, so definitely something we can look at. As for anything else that might be holding bank slots back. don't they?
Yes, there may well be other problems. And of course, it's not like your list of things that the players want us to work on is any shorter than it used to be.
No.
I'd be curious to see how many people actually have come close to reaching the bank space limit, because a lot of people said, yes, please do that, but there can't be that many.
I suspect even when people do, they maybe could choose not to.
You do get some people that hoard all the quest items like I did until I finished my quest cape. And then Iron Men keep everything
Yep.
Yeah.
in case they need it in the future. So
We have a lot of bank space in our game. So I mean, no matter what the limit is, there's going to be people who never drop anything from their bank.
It's Iron Men is going to be most useful for, because it's all those treasure trails where you have to have the specific outfit and things like that.
That'll be helping that.
Yes, your hidey holes will free up a lot of space.
Everyone who's got 100 items in their bank plus to cover all the emote clues, that should be solved
Yeah, that'll be
with
nice.
the hidey holes update. Otherwise, it'd be increasing to more like 150.
What's the hidey holes update?
It's where you stick your stuff for treasure trails.
Yeah, so essentially near every emote clue location,
Yeah.
there'll be like a little rock that you can use your construction level to like store your stuff in there.
Ah.
So you'll add the items that you need for that emote clue in there, and you can go back, click on it, get them back, and do the clue, put them back in.
If you've got 99 thieving, can you steal other people's stuff out there?
There you go.
I think that's a no.
Zartok asks, could you redesign the interface for enchanting bolts? At the moment, you have to click every 10 bolts you want to enchant. Maybe make a make 10 option, similar to making bolts.
Somebody on one of these streams said that we were never ever going near crossbow bolts because the code was so horrible. That one, on the other hand, I bet I could do.
I bet you could too.
Thank you.
Here for that, that emotional support.
Should we get a poll in the chat to say, ask if players think Ash could do it?
The more pressing question is whether they think I should do it.
Roland likes that idea.
Because, of course, if we've got a make X loop going, then we need to shut that interface, and they might not actually find that so good for the usability.
All right, we'll have another straw poll in the chat for you guys momentarily.
Yeah, at the moment they seem slightly less interested because they've worked out it would slow things down.
I think you've just
Well, the
solved
funny
that
thing is,
poll.
if I just wrote it the straightforward way and left the interface open, it would never run because it'd be waiting for the interface to shut before it did it.
All right, let's move on to the next question while we wait for the results. Jeremy Gaming Curious asks, are there any plans to make Dead Man mode more playable for casuals, or will it stay as brutally hardcore of a game mode?
It's
Cheers.
marketing because he's got all the buzzwords.
And the whole point of it is to be brutally damaging. That's the point behind it. It's kind of like, should we make Dead Man mode but make it more mainstream? Well, if we make it more mainstream, will people be playing that instead of RuneScape? Or Old School will, it gets it too similar to the game, and keeping it separate offers a completely different aspect to what the game is, and that's what we want to make sure they stay definitely separate. So it probably won't get easier for casuals.
We tried to appeal to a more casual type of player with the XP rates, but we'll be touching on that shortly. So, I don't know, stay tuned for that. Let's go to the next question then. B Moody says, I mentioned the idea of being able to add X scales to Zulrah items. Any chance of this moving forward as it was well received?
There is always a chance, but probably not in the short term, I wouldn't imagine.
Imagine it could probably be put on the list.
It'll be on a poll, but
Nice little
we've just
quality
had
of
one
life
poll,
feature.
haven't we? So we've got a few weeks before the next one. If not a few longer.
We should probably deliver some of the stuff off the current poll that's passing before
Indeed,
we...
yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of which, I'm so happy that PvP poll,
Yeah.
some of that stuff is passing.
That's good.
Next question's from N username says, what prayer level will be the new, will the new raid prayers require?
So on the topic of raids, next Monday a dev blog will be released to just start to discuss the rewards. It won't be with the questions and everything, it'll just be to open a discussion and get your feedback on the rewards or what you want to be changed. Which prayer were they asking for?
Just any
The
of the
raid
prayers.
specific rewards.
The requirements. for them.
Rigor and Augury will be on there, and I believe they are pitched at 74 and 77.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact
That
numbers,
sounds
but I
about
think
right.
that's about where they are. But all the rewards will be documented. There's more prayers as well that will also be alongside those, and they'll all be in that dev blog.
Yeah, can't wait for Soul Split and Turmoil.
We'll be taking prayer up towards 99.
A little bit. I think the highest one's 85.
That's sarcasm.
It is technically one of those skills that really does benefit you having more points, but it's still be nice to have milestones in it more than it has. And I don't mean cosmetic capes.
Right. Next question's from PV Pretender. Says, can there be a shop in Piscarilius on Zaya that sells wieldable fishing equipment after you've reached 100% favor? So
Always like the idea of wieldable fishing equipment.
Yeah, I mean the Kebbit harpoon's already buildable, isn't it?
Is it?
Barbtail harpoon.
Yeah, the barbtail harpoon.
People use it because it got them that extra inventory space.
Yeah, so I don't see a problem with doing similar things for the fishing equipment.
I have faith in Mod West whipping up a two-handed lobster pot. Stuff
We
like
pitched
that.
it for Artisan as well. One of the
Yeah.
rewards for Artisan, we pitched that. It was wieldable stuff.
We could maybe even adapt the animation for when you're carrying Zanuck in a box.
Yeah.
But does that mean if we're going to add more for fishing, we're going to perhaps look at them for other skills as well?
I mean, for things like mining and woodcutting, you can already build the equipment.
So,
for them.
when you make a wieldable version of an existing item, then you've got to find all the code that refers to the existing item and update it to check your worn slots as well as your inventory. So for fishing, everywhere that's looking for fly fishing rod in your inventory would have to look in your worn slots as well. But however, there's not that many places in the game referring to fly fishing rods because, well, why would there be? It's all the fishing spots, not much else. So that's not a big deal. Now, on the other hand, you try it for a hammer. Finding all the code in the game that refers to a hammer is rather more work than finding a fly fishing rod. Because, even if we said it only works on, smithing at an anvil, players are not necessarily going to see why we shouldn't, make it work in this quest situation they found in, One Small Favour, where you're trying to bash a weather vane into shape or something. So that does mean we'd have to go through all the rest of the game looking for hammers. Which we can do, but let's start with the fishing, shall we?
Is a fly fishing rod a fishing rod that's just really trendy? Ah, yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's the one that doesn't have maggots on the end of it, so that might make it more trendy than the other sort.
There's a great. Sorry, so bear with us a second.
That's
There's a great scene in Jeeves and Worcester where Worcester's talking to somebody and he goes, "Yeah, he went fly fishing. And no one could understand why you want to go fishing for flies." I thought it was quite funny. You can carry on now.
No.
I'm glad one of us did.
No. All right. Next question. Sunny asks, when will we find out the requirements for all the skill challenges with Master Clue Scrolls?
Well, wasn't that a coincidence? Because written down on this piece of paper, I have all the highest skill requirements for the new skill challenges. So with the Elite Clue Scrolls, there is a guy called Sherlock. He offers you a skill challenge, and he will also offer them for Master Clue Scrolls. And so we have very similar sort of style play there, but with higher tier stuff to make and do. So I'm just going to rattle them off. And I believe Ronan has an image to put up on screen, so you can see them all there on screen. 87 Herblore, 87 Fishing, 85 Slayer, 87 Crafting, 83 Farming, 85 Magic, 90 Firemaking, 77 Runecrafting, 85 Thieving, 88 Smithing, 90 Woodcutting, 85 Mining, 80 Agility, 70 Attack, 72 Cooking, and 81 Fletching.
What was the second to last one?
Cooking.
Yeah.
Yes.
It reminds me
So-
of the shipping forecast.
You can probably put in a little guess to what some of the skill challenges might involve by the level requirements. But should be good.
Somebody asked, can you boost your stats to get there? To do it?
If you can boost your stat to do the activity as normal, then there's nothing stopping you do it for this.
And are those by any chance the minimum stats of somebody's tube account?
Yes, so those are exactly my stats.
Just wondering.
But no, this is really intended to be like the end game for Clue Scrolls and the highest tier, like what you really have to strive for. They'll be bringing back that feel where you get a Clue Scroll and you're like, oh, I can't do this one, I'm going to go and train my skill to get it, and or you drop it and get a new one.
What do you think the most difficult one of all those is?
Mining. 85 mining. I hate training mining.
That's
We've
reasonable.
had a fair few people join this team who really hate mining.
Yeah. The others seem pretty fine. 87 crafting. Crafting's fairly expensive. Similar with smithing. You can do them cheaper ways though.
Cool. All right, next question then.
Oh, just before we go on to that question, I just want to say, like, thanks to the community for all the suggestions with the clue scrolls, because pretty much every single one has came from the community. I spent much of the last week going through all your suggestions, writing them down, picking the ones we liked, and starting to code them now. And that all came from the clue scroll competition that we started in, I believe, near the end of April. So we now have the full list of the players who are going to have their clue scroll go into game, and I've also picked 3 winners who will be winning a piece of signed artwork and anything from the merch store they want. So all that information will go out when the actual update goes out.
All right. Sweet, moving on. R. Robert says, actually, I don't know if he pronounces it just Robert. Robert. If someone
roll the letter R.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't do it either.
No, I can't do it. If someone dies with chin chompers in their bank in Deadman, can it be changed so the person who killed them can receive them in the bank key?
I suspect the method they work now is that it's treated like items dropped on death, which would make the chin chompers run away.
They go through normal convert from.
Ah.
So
I think the answer to that is
no.
Could do, but would involve a bit of work.
I mean, personally, I'd be in favour of the killer getting the chin chompers in any circumstance.
Yeah, I agree.
It went pulled before, right, and failed.
I forget exactly what we offered in that regard, but we weren't talking about Deadman at the time.
No, that was just if you kill somebody hunting chin chompers, right?
Yeah, because we just introduced the wilderness chin chomper hunting thing.
Yeah. If you're supposed to get everything in their bank, if they invested all of their money into chin chompers, they basically say, well, you can kill me, but you're not getting anything. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, sort of unfortunate.
Yeah.
I expect we could find the place to carve in an exception for those 3 items, or the 2 that are used.
Okay. My name is Mo, says, can the butler auto take payments from your bank instead of having to ask you to pay up every few trips?
Isn't that part of would that affect the balancing of it at all? It seems to make it a bit easier as well, which
Would also affect the XP rates.
Do we already have an auto pay option where it just automatically takes the payment
That's what he's asking for.
from your inventory, though?
No, you have to confirm a message. He says you need to pay me now, or you're not getting your items.
He's asking
You
for
have
an
to
auto payment from bank, not inventory, so.
But then that begs the question: what about people that are Iron Men that don't have a lot of coins anyway and are only wanting to do a specific amount?
Then you don't turn the auto option on.
Well, if we took what's the existing behaviour and where he currently looks in your inventory to see if you've got enough coins, we made him able to also look in your bank if you've got your PIN unlocked, then we could probably do that without restructuring much. It just means they wouldn't have to have any coins in their inventory, which does affect the number of slots available to them potentially.
Okay.
But since coins be stackable, it may not turn out to make a difference.
Well, going from, say, 25 to 26 will probably be beneficial for those that are making
Even numbered
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sure who you roasted.
I would like to see it anyway, I think, personally, because I think it's a pretty frustrating part of construction.
All right. I actually got a follow-up here saying, can the butler also not walk away after giving you your requested items, planks? Sometimes he even walks away when he still has some planks on him to give.
He wants to keep them.
Have to see what's making him do that. Might be able to deal with it. Depends what's causing it.
I think it depends on the method, on like how you talk to them, whether you finish the conversation or go straight back into constructing anything, because sometimes he does walk away, sometimes he doesn't, depending on how you finish the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some
Depends
people
what's
have
going on in there.
asked if he can just follow you wherever you go. Turn him into a pet.
You know, that would be really creepy depending on which butler you've got.
I suppose, you know, your butler would naturally follow you around the house, wouldn't he? Waiting
Wouldn't
for you to be bottled upon.
How many butlers do you have?
Yeah.
Well, you say that.
You seem to be an expert on the subject.
Can you imagine not generally to the degree where they're standing right behind you the entire time?
Hang on, have you just trained your kids to act kind of like servants around the house all the time? Because that's genius.
He has done that.
That is the reason to have children.
They also carry planks.
For those who don't know, I was going to say something
Actually,
incredibly wrong there. So I
The
thought
butler never carries the planks. When you talk to him, it just takes them from your bank instantly into your inventory. It's all a lie.
it's a magic butler.
I'm not sure I'd actually want kids who have access to my bank account.
Exactly.
Kids will always have access to your bank account, whether directly or not, so I wouldn't worry about
if you
it.
want, and then remove them in back in the butler inventory.
Now it's legit.
Yeah.
Right, let's go to the next question.
Don't start
Did we
getting
answer
hung up
that
on
one?
realism.
I think
Oh,
we did,
yeah.
maybe.
It depends what's causing him to walk away.
Yeah.
If we can make him not do it, then that's fine. If there's something that we can't work around without severe difficulty, we might just let him keep wandering. Or we could try and make him keep finding you and travelling around to follow you wherever you go.
Could you not make him a semi-follower that after you've rung the bell, he stays within a radius of you?
Don't know
Or
about the
something
radius,
similar.
but we can probably make him follow you around as if you were an aggressive NPC, but never killing you.
I'm sure you could add a new NPC follow mode, which just stopped once it was within a certain range, as opposed to trying to get to one space away.
I've done that before, actually. I used it an actual ranged attack, but with no code on the attack. So that I thought it was trying to shoot you from a distance of about 3 tiles.
That would work,
And it always
yeah.
got within 3 tiles to shoot you, but then there was no code for it shooting you.
Right, if you've run out of money in your bank and can't pay him, he stop punching you until you pay him every time you go into your house.
Yeah, I like that.
Turn your butler into a bailiff.
Yeah.
Takes you into the box.
are you
right?
still
He just starts
Are you still
taking
talking about your
kitchen stuff.
kids here?
Well,
I think he could steal your furniture and sell it.
All right, let's go to the
lock
next
out your
question.
house.
We do have plenty
That's
of
a question
questions left.
Draconic throne you have.
Yeah, more questions, go on.
Right. Ye Old Wally says, remove Dragon Full Helmet from Brutal Dragon's drop table. That wasn't a question.
Then it doesn't
Why?
require an answer.
Does that sound like the answer was no? What's the chance of it? Does anyone remember?
Same as Mithril,
A 32k drop.
32k.
So of course Mithrils have the chewed bones drop, and I believe I've worked out the average before. It works out to about 1 in 10k from Mithrils if you include the chewed bones.
Ah,
There's a lot of yeses in the chat.
I think it's mainly because the Dragon Full Helm's literally dropped about 15 mil since the Brutal Dragons came out.
I think a lot of that is perception, where people feel that it is becoming massively common, therefore it's not worth as much, and that's a self-perpetuating situation in an economy.
1 in 32k is mega
So
rare.
the actual number coming in from it may not be that high, but if taking it out would make them happy, we can do enough to make them happy.
Yeah, if you want to take it out, it can go out.
Or we could tell them how many have come into play from these creatures.
Oh, can we?
Probably.
Just say that thinking. Probably do this.
Yeah, you've got data guys. They'll ask them a question. They'll find an answer. I'm
Okay.
sure. We can see how many items are in game of each individual item, can't we? So we just run that report.
I'm not sure panic selling
what's
is a
changed
good
from
bit of
last time?
advice you're given there, by the way.
Right? A lot of things to
Better
panic
not.
selling by actually this stream. Scott Wilson says, why didn't you mention the specific numbers for XP scaling in Dead Man mode in the dev blog? So I actually thought we'd answer this with something we covered in our meeting earlier today. We discussed the revised XP rates being changed.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
do you
did we
want-
agree on?
We agreed on 10 times experience rate starting at the beginning, up to 50 where it would slow down at 5 times, and it would stay at 5 times permanently. Is that correct?
It would work the same way, but it would never go below 5 times.
Yeah. So it works the same way, but would never go below 5 times. So the concern there was that if it did get below 5 times, even just 3 times, people would think, this isn't nearly fast enough for me. So there you go, minimum of 5 times.
They seem happy about something. It's hard to tell what from context, but they seem happy.
That idea comes from the community, so
Oh, well, that's
I
all
would
right then.
hope they like it. Cool.
Except the one person who typed in awful, who hasn't typed it since.
He might have just meant us.
Oh, he didn't spam it, he doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
Not
Or
passionate enough.
maybe he was full of awe and just misinterpreted the word.
Could have been speaking about Ronan.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, next question.
Really?
Glider says, for the Ring of Suffering update, instead of unlimited Ring of Recoil, how about allowing it to be charged with X amount of recoils so it has the same effect but not unlimited? We had this idea.
Yeah. And since the infinite thing does not appear to be passing the poll, then we can certainly look at alternative ways of doing it if people are still interested in having it at all. There's been a fair bit of support for having it charged with something, either sapphires or recoil rings. Although another suggestion was that we make it the long-awaited Dragonstone sync.
Yeah,
Please no.
we want a Dragonstone sync, but it kind of has to make sense.
Alternatively, you could come up with a new enchantment for that ring. Another effect that fits with a tank ring. Doesn't necessarily have to be the recoil effect.
I like the recoil effect personally.
Recoil or damage, slight damage reduction, or
I think we could probably get away with just the recoil. In fact, should we straw poll? Is that?
I'd love to.
Yeah. All right. We're going to straw poll. Would you like the Ring of Suffering to be repolled with the ability to add in X amount of recoil rings? And that's how many charges you would get.
It's a good day for polls today.
Yes. Any straw polls today? Meanwhile, let's go to the next question then. Where are we? Are we actually on? Yeah, we're on this page now. Risky says, would it be possible to get a larger click box on the fence of the north side of the gnome stronghold? It takes longer to hop the fence than it does to complete a demonic gorilla task.
I cannot remember what we've got there. This is the entrance to the bit where you see demon monkeys.
Mhm.
Have to look at what the model's doing.
I mean, is this an issue, like even when it's right in the middle of a screen, or is it one of these ones where the click zone goes off towards the edge of a screen, like we've seen a few things? Or
I think it's the same thing as the Redwood ladder, which we fixed this week.
For what it's worth, we had a go at that one a week ago as well. But we just made it a very, very slightly bit bigger this week, beyond what I did before.
But I wouldn't see why not. And
Yeah, I mean-
it'd be quite quick to do, I suspect.
I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
But then you can do them.
All right, we've got the results back from that straw
Awesome,
poll.
they like it.
Should the Ring of Suffering be repolled with the ability to charge it with any number of rings of recoil, passing at 87%?
Cool.
Not quite
So
any
wow.
number. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I think we can do any
Billion.
number based on that.
Well,
Or
perhaps if you
panic by
made
rings of recoil.
a max of 100 rings put into it or something like that. But
Takes a bit more doing, of course, having something that makes it store charges rather than just doing something every time it's equipped. So we're talking more dev work than the thing we offered before, which means we would have to have time to write it. So we may not be, rushing that one straight into the next update, despite what Chris is about to say. So, but we've seen the support.
we'd
and
have to cap
we
it
did
at
like
like
it.
2.1 bill, wouldn't we, as well?
We cap everything at 2.1
Yeah,
bill, but
so-
I think we might cap it below that.
Okay. I think we're going to do just a couple more questions, and then we'll throw the suggestions in there, and then hop over to Mod West with the, or Mod Ghost if he's coming downstairs. He's still upstairs.
They've got a few suggestions for numbers we could use.
Yeah, those are numbers. All right. Let's go to these next questions then. So Lord Gozer says, would it be possible to increase the rendering distance within a reasonable amount of time? Many places such as Karen Catacombs would look much more impressive.
Hasn't he in a while?
yeah, you could increase the rendering distance. For one that's hard to increase is the amount of map that's loaded at a time. So when you're getting towards a map loading boundary, you start to see a whole load of black appear on the mini-map, and you're going to see it suddenly jump when you cross the loading boundary.
Right.
But in terms of the actual amount of map that's in memory that's displayed, I think we could up that.
People
Would
say
this be
no.
pretty much the most expensive thing you could do to the FPS, though?
Yeah, well, yeah, it would clog the FPS.
Don't like that.
Yeah, I mean,
This thing doesn't happen magically.
no, because obviously the further away you get from the camera, the wider the field of view gets, so you get exponentially more polygons to calculate the further away it goes.
Yeah.
It's not even linear.
So they had the change in the chat, and everyone was screaming yes until it was like, oh, clobby your FPS. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things we could try to do to.
What about an adjustable scale on something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have it a scale. If you put something like that in, you wouldn't enforce it upon everyone.
I think RS3 just went with a fairly basic small, medium, large for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing to watch out for, I suppose, is that if we were going to put all the engine work into making this option, but very few people will be able to use it because of the frame rate, then perhaps we should just ignore it until after we've had a chance to see what we can do about the frame rate through some different engine work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
And scalable interfaces.
yeah, let's put the...
Yes. I want to get on with them.
put
I'd love that.
You've got things like the NPC transmit distances as well. NPCs are only transmitted to you when they're within, what is it, 8 tiles? No. It's not very far.
It's 15.
15, okay. So you will see them popping in more as well. But
Yeah. Now we've got the ability to expand it for instanced areas.
yeah.
And for the raiding dungeons, I think the plan was to let you see players all the way across the instance so that public chat would work more conveniently,
Yeah.
which would be handy for you chatting to each other in there. But I wasn't planning on doing it with the NPCs because there might be rather a lot of them in there.
Okay. We've got, as usual, we've got a bunch of questions left. I always like to get too many. Let's try to quick fire through as many of these as possible. We'll do the suggestions, and then we'll head over to Mod Ghost and Mod West. So let's go. First one's from Slant, says, could having the max/prayer cape in your inventory act as the holy wrench without having to equip it?
Why would you have it in your invent when you could just have the holy wrench? You'd have the max cape equipped generally. So
It's because during Slayer, a lot of people like to have the basic max cape on them because it has the skill cape perks for the Slayer master benefit, but they want to wield their fire cape variant for the stats.
that makes a lot more
And
sense.
hence they don't want to have the holy wrench and the cape. Certainly could do. No reason not to.
I think I centralised that code to make that kind of thing easier to implement in future.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was fairly straightforward.
All right.
It is now.
Next question. Keeping these as quick as possible with Wispcraft? Can we have a revitalization of the mining guild? It's pretty lame and no one uses it to train. They're suggesting a similar invisible stat boost and/or add a bank.
I like it, to be honest.
I think it should be reworked. I don't know if that's the right solutions for it.
We set a high precedent with the woodcutting guild. Everybody really likes that. Now they're saying the other guilds aren't as nice. Make them as nice.
The bank's pretty extreme. The invisible stat boost code, we know how to do it now, so we can keep doing it.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to make it useful, definitely. Yeah. And I like the +7 boost. I think it's a nice little benefit to the...
It makes sense. OSRSCX says, can you increase the respawn rate of soda ash and buckets of sand at the charter ship shops?
Good.
It's because they're all connected, aren't they? So you buy them in one place and they get bought out everywhere.
We can split the shop so that it's not the same in every place if we want to.
I'd say splitting the shop would probably be a better way, but whether it's an easier option is another thing.
I suspect the players would love us to do both. I'm very happy to split the shop.
Any idea how fast they currently respawn?
I'm afraid I don't really memorise that.
Well, you memorise a lot of things.
Yeah, it's full.
All right, next question. Plebis says, can we have the option to make Dragon Defenders the red color from the pole, but at the cost of 1,000 to 2,000 Warriors Guild tokens?
We've had a lot of requests for this over the
I
past
do
few
like
days.
giving more uses to Warriors Guild tokens. It's been years, possibly 10 years.
And then do we set it so you get the tokens back if you want to go back to the other version, or
No.
or charge them to take it back again?
Yeah, you charge for each recolor, don't you?
Yeah.
We could see what we went and did with those Bounty Hunter whip painting kits. I think you can remove the paint for free, especially if we allow you to remove it by dying with the thing. So we could go with a similar behaviour for this.
Okay. Hooray for Jay says, can you start tracking the number of deliveries a player does in the Gnome Restaurant minigame?
Sure we could.
Why?
Apparently people do the gnome thingy minigame.
I think this guy does.
Even more than the requirements.
That's funny, because last week the request was to add more stuff to it to make it worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to actually monitor absolutely everything in game and spit it out into a nice in-game thing that people can see what they're doing all the time. That would always be a lovely thing to do, but it's the priority of that on top of everything else we could be doing is always a bit iffy.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of that minigame, I was in the Tarn's Lair, whatever it's called, and I was in there and I was looking around for some other reason, and I stumbled across this gnome skeleton in the corner and a toad batter next to it, and if you examine the gnome skeleton it said, looks like the gnome delivery didn't make it in time. And I like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. We've still got plenty of questions, so that's fine. Let's see. Nick Skill says, can you make it so the lunar staff doesn't disappear on death?
I have a feeling there's no great reason for it to do so, other than that a lot of quest items did, and if the developer was ticking the usual boxes for, is your quest item given a destroy option and made to disappear on death, he'd have followed that instruction to the letter. And we've previously removed restrictions on having multiple copies of an item, like for the secateurs, so I see no reason not to do it for this. The players may know a reason, though, that can tell us, but I personally don't know of one.
Okay. Numbers says, can we get baby metal dragons?
How do metal dragons have babies?
So well, normal dragons?
Difficult,
yeah, okay, Ashley, if Ashley wants to go into more detail.
Well, there's no animation for it.
Are they forged in a furnace, or are they, like...
The story of the metal birds and the metal bees.
Right.
Yeah.
They're delivered by Metal Pelican.
Well, are there any eggs in the Metal Dragon Room? Because there are eggs in most of the other
there
dragon
are,
rooms.
there are.
Okay, so
There are,
apparently
yeah.
come
They
out
look remarkably like bird eggs.
yes, apparently they come from eggs.
Okay, so the
yes, we
benefits...
can.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Struggle says, with the Gren Exchange in the next season of Dead Man Mode, what happens to your items in the Gren Exchange if you die?
Since we can't confiscate the items straight out of the slot at the moment of your death to give to the PKer, we were going to go with a rule that they are obliterated when you next visit the GE, and you can't have them back because you effectively lost them on death. Unfortunately, we can't give them to PKer, but the alternative is letting them stay in there, and you've effectively got an extra 8 stacks of protected items.
Can we limit them to how many slots they can use?
Yes.
I think that would be a good solution.
Even if we're not happy with taking them out of the GE, could we at least calculate the value of them?
Should be able to.
And in some way tie that into what the killer gets?
I wouldn't want to turn it into cash, but
No.
we could try and give them something.
Yeah, I feel if I'm a Dead Man player, I'm going to put all of my wealth into the Gren Exchange, and so if I die, the guy who kills me gets nothing.
Well, in that case, we would limit the number of slots. Which is a lot easier than what I was asked to do last time we discussed it, by the way.
But I think if we can find a way around people doing that...
No, simple, we just
then we're
tightened
good.
the thing that's limiting the slots on free-to-play worlds. Does mean that you'd have stacks of items protected, of course.
Alright. No1213 says, will you guys ever base a quest off of the Dying Knight outside of God War's dungeon?
Didn't he die?
Yes, he did.
Then I think
Maybe
the
he
quest
comes
is
back
over.
to life.
Necromancy exists now.
Well, maybe one day. I mean, there's no reason to not do it, and I can think of a storyline that could tie into it. You know,
Yeah.
you search his body, you find a trinket, and you have to take it back to the person that he was in love with before he went and died.
I'll
we
keep
not
going.
gonna
I'm
go-
intrigued now. Need
So,
to know what else
then
happens.
you could take a storyline off that. But there's 101 ways you can go.
Search
with
him and find his trinket, and
Yeah.
okay.
Turns out it was from Nex, and she's behind the frozen door in the God War's dungeon.
it. Yeah,
Oh,
Maybe that's how
spoiler
you
alert.
unlock it.
Wow.
indeed.
All right. OSRS says, can you remove the ability to cast High Alchemy in Pest Control?
It used to be blocked in a lot of instanced areas, didn't it? Until we chose to unblock it recently.
Yes.
Then yes, we certainly could.
Cool.
In fact, I usually do in minigames.
Ash Ketchum says, add a safe zone to Zaya for Dead Man Mode.
We did talk about this, didn't we? And we
I
thought,
think there should be one.
yeah, we thought
Could we not?
I don't know why we didn't do it.
I think we wanted to leave it for the community to agree on where, and getting that
Could well be,
agreement
yeah.
may have been harder than we expected.
I think maybe near the sand crabs. So it's still
I wonder why.
so it's still dangerous to train there, but you know, you can bank and stuff. Also, I could train. No? All right.
Okay, why don't we
So
ask the
it's solved
chat?
then. That's what we're doing.
Why
apparently.
don't we ask the chat where on Zaya they would like it? I'm
Yeah,
sure
name a
they've got-
place in Zaya.
Yeah,
Try
name
and
a place
spell
in
it.
Zaya. If you spell it correctly, you get an extra 5 points.
All right. Let's see the next
Put
one.
it pronounce it,
Put it in the
5 points more.
woodcutting guild, so it's nowhere near the sand crabs.
Right. Let's yes or no these next few questions because we've only got so much time. Thanks says, can we see higher level total level worlds? Says there's over 2.5 thousand people with 2,000 total.
So that's, I think we worked it out earlier, wasn't it? That's less than 1%.
Less than
He
1%.
said yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes, yes or no?
No, then let's go. Go on.
What?
No.
Nice.
2,500. Oh yeah, yes or no? Carry on.
Danny, can you add Woodcutting Guild to skills necklace?
Yes.
Mitch, wow, this is efficient. Mitch, thoughts on the ability to lock an item in place in your inventory from being banked?
How can that be a yes and no question? It's a
It's
thoughts
asking for
on.
your thoughts. This would make
I have
stealing
some
easier.
thoughts.
Yes. Yes, I
Yes.
have thoughts. Carry on.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Cleve, can we get a cannon ornament kit for Master Clue Scrolls?
No.
No.
I was hoping for a yes there. Okay, we're going to head over to the artists then. I think they're going to show us off some Master Clue Scroll rewards in the sneak peek of the week.
Are they ready? Are they listening?
Apparently not.
They look busy.
Hello. We're good.
They're good.
Hello, I'm Mod Ghost and I'm with Mod West at the moment, and we're going to be showing you the treasure trail rewards that we've currently completed. There's still a few more to go. Where's my notepad? So if I grab that. Thank you very much. So I'll just read the ones that are left to show next week after we've done this. So first off we have Team Cape 0. So actually I'll just load in all of the easy ones, that'll be easier. Okay, got a whole bank full of stuff. Wow, this is going to be slow, isn't it? Okay, there, we're good. Right. So these are all of the easy rewards. So you've got Team Capes in the Wilderness, so we thought we'd give you a few sort of custom ones that you can get from treasure trails. So we're starting off with Team Cape 0 just here. It's got a 0 on the back. It's quite self-explanatory. Then we have Team Cape X, and then we have Team Cape Infinity as well, which has the infinity symbol on the back. So will we get some recolours of them, do you think? Connor's not got a mic at the moment, so I'll translate for you.
Well, they each have got a different colour on the inside.
Okay, so each one of these capes has got a different colour on the inside. So we've got a green one just here, a red one just here, and a blue one just here. So I suppose that also helps, yeah. Cool, so we've also got, I'll just take this stuff off as well. I need to remember to do that.
Zoom in, Gareth.
Zoom in? Is that what people want? Okay, yeah, that is better actually. Okay. So we've got a gold trim wooden shield, and we've got the steel gear that's been gold trimmed as well. There we go. So we've got the skirt just there. I'll just load on the legs again in case you didn't see that. I'll try and take my time a bit more for you. There we go. So those are the legs as well. So again, let's just take all this kit off before we load the next one in. There we go. And now we've got the trimmed steel full helm and legs and another shield. And we've got the skirt as well. And that's that. Right, so let's quickly hurry on. We've got loads to get through. Right, so as well as that, we've got the gold apron. There we go. That took us ages. It's like the most complicated model. We also have the gold chef's hat as well. And as well as that, we have monk robes finally in the easy category too. So we've got gold trim monk robes there. Cool, exciting stuff. So let's add in another bank booth with magic. So bank booth. And actually I'm going to wipe this inventory so we're not tripping over ourselves. It's a colon, oh, never mind. Yeah, can we just do that? Can we just do colon bank?
Yes, go on.
Okay, right, cool. Thank you. I like the idea of adding in a bank booth. I will. Okay, let's try. Colon bank. Oh. Well, that was mean. Right, cool. So let's load in the medium stuff too. I'm not sure where medium stops here. Stops here? Right, okay, cool. This is medium. So let's take off this gear. And okay, so we've got the town crier's bell. So you can wander around town and you can shout your messages. We've also got the coat to go with that as well. I believe the hat's already in game with the last treasure trails. As well as that, we've got the tinder box just here. It's essentially a tinder box with a gnome child on the front. So if I just drop that, you can see There is Gnome Child on the front of your tinderbox if you wanted a gnomish tinderbox. Exciting stuff. So let's take this off. And we've also got the cabbage shield. There you go. You made this. This is your pride and joy, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. And as well as the cabbage shield, you have unicorn heads. Now these have been adapted slightly, so they look slightly more like the original. So they've got a shorter snout. The neck's a lot shorter too. What else did you change about them?
It just made them smaller in general.
Yeah,
Made
just
them
made
a
them
bit
smaller.
thicker as well, so they weren't so thin.
That's cool. People just kind of felt the proportions were a bit out. But anything else that people said about them that you changed? Other than proportions? No. Okay. We've also got the white one too. So you've got a white unicorn there as well. Have they got chat heads with them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We can show chat heads sometime. I'm probably going to run out of time today, so I should hurry up. Okay, yep, that's easy enough. Let's just wipe this again. Go over to the bank brief. Okay, so let's get all the hard stuff. Oh, did I just do something to this interface? We've got our browser bar that's appeared now. Yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. It's cool. It's not essential, is it? Can we deal with the browser bar?
Yeah, we can deal with that. That's
We'll live. It's okay. Cool. So we've also got the gold rune gear as well. So we've got a helm here for you. Expanded, is it? Is that what we call it?
Well, there's already gilded in the game, so this is
Okay.
just the missing pieces.
Okay, that's cool. So here are the missing pieces from the gilded. So you've got a shield there as well. We've got the two-handed sword. We've got the spear, and we've got the Haster as well. Okay, cool. I like the Haster the most. It's my favourite. Okay. So let's wipe our inventory again.
Forgot the last item.
Oh, the last item. Oh yeah, how did I forget that? So we've got nunchucks in game as well now. I don't know how I forgot that. It's about time, isn't it?
They use the animation for the Torah cameras as well, so they look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. We've seen them fighting. It does look very good. Okay. Yeah, I'll try. What can I NPC add? Someone just tell me an easy NPC. You're trying to get me killed.
Jump to the northwest.
No, just tell me an NPC. That's easier.
Man.
There's an NPC
Yeah.
right to your northwest.
There you go. That's fun, right? Should we do that again, just in case you missed it?
You should do it back again.
It'll be fine. There we go. It's just, they're too weak. Never mind. Right, let's move on. I'm getting sidetracked now. Okay, cool. So, we've got so many here. Oh, boy. Right, quickly. I just heard Matt yawn there.
Very, very late night last night.
Okay, and the bucket as well. All right, the gold bucket that you can see just here, I've created a model of that where it's wooden, but just with the iron bits made gold, so just ignore that, I won't even show it. Right, so we've got the Ring of Nature just here. You can see it's shaped like a nature rune symbol. That's very clever of me.
It will turn you into a bush.
And it will turn you into a bush when you equip that. That's very good. I like that. And we've got the blacksmith's helm. Just zoom in, have a look.
That's very good.
Cool. We've got the ancient boots, just here. I suppose this just matches the other god armor, really, doesn't it?
What you can do.
Cool. And we've got, I think that's,
You
yeah.
just got the bandits ones on.
I have, haven't I? That's Guthix. That's, help me out here, dude.
Armadillo.
Armadillo. That's Armadillo.
Saradomin.
That's Saradomin and Zaros. There we go.
Zamorak.
Oh, God! Never mind, that's immortalised, isn't it? They're the Zamorak ones.
Don't forget the. I thought you were on a bank then. There's the scimitars as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. We've got the, is that, yeah, the scimitar.
Ornament kit.
Ornament kit for the scimitar. So there's lots of gold on there. I like that actually, it looks cool. I especially like it in the inventory. It kind of looks flaming.
Oh yeah.
Cool, we've got ranger gloves as well. And we
A lot of
have
people have requested ranger tights as well, so I might.
ranger
make-
tights,
make
sort of
those
like
for
Robin
you.
Hood style
Yeah.
tights.
So you have the full set.
Okay, like Dernier tights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something like that.
And then we've got the bucket helm as well. I don't know what's going on over there. I can just hear noises. Right, okay, let's continue, because I'm just dragging my feet now a bit. Let's just wipe the inventory again. I said Zaros instead of Zamrak because I'm about to show the Zaros kit that I've been working on the other day. That's what happened there, by the way. Just, I feel really bad now. Wow, there's loads of rewards here, isn't there, for Master? Right.
Some of the users want to see you turn into the bush.
They want to see me turn into the bush? I don't think that's possible. Right, I think that's it. Right, let's go. So we've got the bowl wig just here. This is Ronan's hair that I had to model. I don't know. Yeah, it's about time it made it into the game. I think there's an NPC around. I can just talk to them. And there should be a bowl chat head as well. Yes, please. Ah, come on, just say it. They're not. Oh, right, there we go. So there's a chat head with Ronan's hair. I think it looks like your hair. What do you reckon, Ronan?
I approve.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so let's just take that off. Oh, another cool thing about it is when you drop it. I love the drop model for this. This looks like a very sad wig that sits on the floor. There we go. Right, so we've got this scroll as well. This is for charging Dragonstone jewellery. So there's not really much to show with this one. I suppose we'll just drop it on the floor. You can kind of see what it looks like. So yeah, very exciting. We've got the half moon glasses. So it's just glasses with sort of like that's just been cut in half. There's nothing too exciting there. We've got this beer stein just here. And you're basically just going to be able to play the drunk walk animation once you've got this equipped. That's very exciting. We've got this ring as well, the ring of coins. It turns you into a pile of coins when you equip it. It's a shame we can't show all this stuff now, but it's still got to be developed. Maybe next week we can have a bit more of a look at seeing what this stuff actually does. We've got the fancy tiara too. That can go with your princess outfit, and I'll just unequip that before I do anything else. I know, guys, this is quite a slog, isn't it, going through all this stuff? I hope you're not too bored at home, or wherever you are. Cool. So this is the new kind of ancient mage robes, isn't it? Yeah, same stats as Mystic, that was the one. And it's basically called the something of darkness. Yeah, Hood of Darkness. So it's kind of like the darkness robes. Robes of darkness. Thank you, Connor. It's a good job you're here. What would I do without you? Right. Cool, so those are the robes of darkness. I'll take them off now. And see what else we've got. Okay, we've got this reverse obsidian cape. So people requested for the obsidian cape to have its colours reversed. We've done that. And as well as that, we've got the Dragon Defender ornament kit too. So you've got a Dragon Defender with gold on it, which looks kind of cool. There we go. Let's have a little look at that. So Dragon Defender is a bit of a talking point amongst a few people in the community at the moment. There we go. Cool. As well as that, we've got the God Sword ornament kits. Now, a lot of you didn't like the gold, so we kind of went with just making them have colours which kind of suit the god. So Saradomin's obviously got something that looks a bit more like the shades of gold that Reddit were asking for, so less of that sort of garish yellow, and a sort of ivory handle on it. Cool. Then we've got the Bandas one, thank you. Then we've got the Armadillo one too, and we've got the Zamorak one as well. So those are all the God Sword ornament kits. I think I'll unequip this stuff. Then we've got the occult necklace, that was it. So we've got some ornament kits for the necklaces as well. That's the occult necklace, and we've got the Zenite necklace too, with a, what were they called? Demonic Gorilla, isn't it? It's got one of their sort of skulls shrunken down on the front. Okay, let's unequip this. And let's go through the Samurai kit. Oh, I love this kit, it's so cool. This is just gonna, it's gonna be awesome with the nunchucks, isn't it? Can you remember the name of the config for the nunchucks? Okay, cool. No pressure, come on, hurry, type fast.
Take your time, guys.
Ah, damn, I was hoping I'd make you mess up.
So I did.
Cool. This is awesome. I love this kit so much.
I still want to make a Sashimono.
Sashimono.
To go in the cape slot.
Yeah, okay, we could try Sashimono, see what happens. See if we get...
See what the chat says.
Yeah, see if the chat appreciate that. Okay, Google Sashimono, okay, and look into that and decide whether or not you want us to add it to that samurai kit. Okay, let's add the bank booth again. Okay, wipe the inventory. It'll be like 11 o'clock at night by the time we leave, won't it?
Last ones.
Okay, so we've got these Zaya house hoods. What I've tried to do is make them match skill capes which are appropriate to the main skill in each of the houses in Zaya. As well as that, I'll show you the Anku kit again, because I've changed the inventory models to kind of fit in a bit more with just making something that looks like an NPC. It's kind of got a bit more logic to it. We've got the mummy outfit as well, and then we've got these axes. We're going to have to come to the bank just for one mask. Okay, never mind. Oh, wait, we won't. So I'm going to drop that potato. Going to get that. The world's at peace again. Right, so we've got these hoods, and I've tried to make them match the appropriate skill cape. So this is kind of the hood for Arceus, so it matches the magic cape. Let's go in a light direction where you can actually see the colours properly. There we go. So as well as that, we've next got Piscarilius, which matches the fishing cape. We've got Shazian, which matches the Slayer cape. You can't really see the colours around here very well. It's very dark. Let's increase the brightness. That's better. Okay, we've got the Hesidius cape. I've made this match the woodcutting cape rather than the farming cape, just because we introduced the woodcutting guild, and it does kind of match the farming cape anyway. It's just the shoulder pads are slightly different, and I prefer the colour scheme of this cape. We've got the Lovercane cape as well. That matches the smithing cape. I think that's all of the household capes, it is. I mean househoods and capes. So with this Anku outfit, you can see it turns your skin transparent, but what I've tried to do with the models is not actually incorporate the skeleton into it. So essentially it's kind of like clothes that you put on which make your skin transparent. So what you're seeing there is actually the player's skeleton underneath, as opposed to them weaving a skeleton through their body, which doesn't really make sense. As well as that, I'll just take all of this off and we can have a look at the mummy outfit again. Okay.
Spooky.
Yes, the spooky mummy outfit. And we can also look at the Third Age pickaxe. And the Third Age axe as well. It's a shame I've not got a Third Age armour, but those match really nicely. And finally, I'll just take all this stuff off again and we'll just look at the demon masks. A lot of people said that these demon masks look a bit sort of unpolished, but we've essentially just tried to take them straight off the NPCs, because if we start polishing things, then it's not really that demon's mask, it's kind of just a new mask that looks like that demon. So I hope you kind of appreciate the position we're at with that. Yeah, so we've got
tried to make it more like the imp mask and the goblin mask that's already in the game.
Yeah, sure. So you've tried to kind of make it feel like a mask with the open mouth and being able to see the head underneath and things like that too. So we've got the sort of really old school stuff.
Still, that one's still quite big.
Yeah.
It's got an awkward shape, but like the unicorns.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Colin was just saying there, this one's a bit big, so he wants to scale it down a bit too, so it's a bit more sort of in keeping with these smaller masks. So there's still a few tweaks to get done there. So we're on Reddit, we're on Twitter. Are we on anything else that I don't know about? We're on the forums, obviously. So please get in contact with us en masse and tell us what you'd like changed about these items. We obviously won't be able to implement all of your feedback, but we'll certainly be able to consider it to make sure this release has a very good impact on the community. So things that you can see next week will be the Zaya house banners, the Tavley Dungeon Cauldron Guards armour set, the Runescape Highwayman's outfit, wieldable zombie head, black leprechaun hat, the Cyclops head, the Zaya house scarves, the tuxedo, black and white, and the holy gloves. I think that's everything. Good. All right, we'll hand you back to Chris and the rest of the guys. Cheers.
That was good.
So,
So I guess we'll do an outro now. More questions we'll save for next week. Those were spectacular. I really like the nunchucks with the samurai outfit. There's a lot of stuff in there actually. It looks really cool.
I have some news to share actually. I've just got an email now.
Hey.
We're going to be doing a live stream in a couple of weeks' time from outside.
Hey.
Our staff
Oh, that's
party.
right. Yeah. When I'm away.
Yeah, when you're away.
Yeah.
Which is,
Has someone else just got an email being told how to do it?
that's the next thing. Yeah, so we got a staff event where we're all going out for a day out, and the entire of Jagex is, and it was on a Thursday. It was organised. We wanted to obviously keep doing these on Thursday, and they said we can now do it live from the event, so in the middle of a field somewhere, and it should be quite interesting to see how we can get that done.
God, I hate being outdoors.
It can't be
A
any
big
less
family
comfy than this
picture
sofa.
without
Yes,
Ronan.
unless of course it's going to rain that day, in which case we will be doing it from back here.
Okay.
Jed's on holidays. Ronan,
We need you in here too,
get in the
Ronan.
shot.
We also need someone to turn off the stream.
No, we'll just sit here forever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything to do tonight.
You look a bit isolated out there.
Cozy.
here. You can go there.
I feel
That's
like
it.
That's nice.
I feel like I'm compromised. Sat here.
You don't know who's going to come up behind you.
You're brave.
I'm wondering whether he's had any beans.
See you there.
Come on, Ronan.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What on earth is going on?
I have no idea what's happening. None of this is coordinated.
Across the table.
Blame Joe. Get across the table. Wave.
Well done.
See you later, chaps. I
All
think
right.
we're going now.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Give the stream a follow if you enjoyed. If you're watching the YouTube video, give the YouTube video a like. Aside from that, we'll thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.